The one thing that is really unique about your journey is that you came across the community while you were in school. And even though you didn't have a vision at that time, you said, I knew that I needed to have the business knowledge, the business expertise.
I was in aesthetic school is when I started following you. And I knew then I can't do this by myself. And I didn't even have a vision of having my own business at the time. It was just I knew the path I wanted to take. And the thought of owning a business scared the hell out of me. I remember first seeing you on Instagram. And for those that don't know, I'm 56 and I went to aesthetic school at 50. And I pretty much had a clear vision of where I wanted to go when I graduated. But I came across you and just your energy and your message. Like, even my husband, if he was in the room and could hear you speak, like, he was like, yeah, like, that's somebody that you need to listen to. And then I started just watching your content because you still have, to this day, even now in your journey, so much free content that estheticians or people in this industry, and even people that aren't in this industry, are missing out if they don't find you and get little snippets and information that you share so freely. I was in aesthetic school is when I started following you. And I knew then I can't do this by myself. And I didn't even have a vision of having my own business at the time. It was just I knew the path I wanted to take. And the thought of owning a business scared the hell out of me. But you said one day, and I'll never forget this, you should make it a bumper sticker. It was, "When you define them, they will find you."
Yes.
My whole business model has been based, that is like the top of it. The decisions I make, the classes I take, the skincare lines I bring in, everything down to the smallest details in my room, the way I present myself, the way I dress, like, everything has to be a mindful approach of the person that you want to help. More than any class that I've paid thousands for, that tidbit of information that was free that just came out of your mouth was like, dang, this is huge, huge.
So people get afraid sometimes when I talk about niching down or who's your target person. I think niche makes people feel restricted or boxed in. But
Yes.
really, all it means is, as you were saying, when you define her, you can find her. And defining her helps you know exactly who you're talking to. It's almost like your North Star, it's your guiding light because along our entrepreneurial journey, I think many of us lose our way,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
you need that North Star, like you said, every time I make any business decision, whenever I look at taking advanced training, anything I put out in marketing, hell, probably even to down to the experience you create in your space.
Oh,
Think
absolutely.
of this person in mind, right? Because this is who you serve.
Yes.
And when you start focusing on building a business,
Mhm.
sometimes you wake up one day and you done built a business that your ass don't love. you
Right.
you
Yeah.
don't love it. It's
Yeah.
not doing what you love to do with who you love to do it with,
Yeah.
and you feel imprisoned almost. The one thing that is really unique about your journey is that you came across the community while you were in school. And even though you didn't have a vision at that time, you said, I knew that I needed to have the business knowledge, the business expertise. So, what I'd like to find out from you is if you can tell us a little bit about that journey from like 2018 to where we are today, 2023.
No. So I graduated. I worked briefly for a place in Maine, I would say 6 months. And then I just thought, this isn't really me, the environment, whatever. And then I ended up getting a job in New Hampshire at a spa. And I was put in charge of the spa, even though I was fresh out of school. I think because I was older and I had managerial experience. So I oversaw the spa and oversaw other estheticians and massage therapists. I help implement, put into calls, things like that. But even then, I knew, I was like, I can't practice the type of aesthetics that I wanted to working for someone else. But the thought of opening my own business was so scary. And then March of 2020, COVID hit and everything in our state, like everybody else's, got shut down. And I came home and I looked at my husband and I said, I'm not going to go back. And he's, what do you mean you're not going to go back? And I said, when they open, I'm not going back. And he said, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to open my own business. And he said,
Girl, if you don't say it, Lee, if you don't, you talk about taking lemons and turning into lemonade. Yes, that
yeah.
happened a lot during COVID. A
Mhm.
lot of people gave themselves permission.
I always say that if not for COVID, COVID was one of the best things that ever happened to my personal business journey. And I was very fortunate. I worked at this place, built up a clientele, and I would say 90% of them followed me to where I opened my business in June of 2020. And the rest is history. It's been the most amazing, overwhelming journey ever. I currently don't take I don't have room for new clients. My books are closed. I
And
always,
you were recently featured, right? Somewhere, weren't you just recently interviewed? Tell
yes.
me about that.
So someone reached out to me and asked me if they could interview me about facial cupping. And at first I thought it was a scam because I was like, what? There's other people you could ask. It was this wonderful woman who writes for Vogue India. And I answered the questions and we chatted for a while. And then boom, next thing you know, she sends me the article that's in Vogue India. And then it was published in a whole bunch of other in Vogue. It's the online version of the magazine because there's not a lot of paper versions anymore. So that was pretty cool. And then I was recently
Girl,
interviewed by,
hold on, Lee, before we skim over, that's more than pretty cool.
yeah,
That's more than pretty cool. I
yeah, there was
mean,
like
I'm
five of us included
yeah.
in the article. And so I'm pretty proud of that. That's why we've been together for years. And I've always felt like you've been like right here, right? So when I finally talked with my husband, you and I did something recently, and then I thought, okay, I think it's time. And it is an investment. But I also learned from another mentor when she said, if you don't spend money on your business, it doesn't make room for new money to show up.
Oh my God. Yes.
And I was
Whoever
like,
she is, she's a wise gal, honey. That is the truth. That is truth right there.
yeah.
Women who invest in themselves go further, period.
And I've always
Period.
been really into education and furthering my education. And I take usually a class a year. Just took another incredible one in New York City. It's incredible to see the accomplishments, and I try to celebrate them as much as I can because I think that's important as well to celebrate what you've accomplished.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't, nobody else is going to.
You got to take inventory of the win because, it's the small wins that will lead to our big victories. One of the things that you said, Lee, that I want to touch on, you talked a lot about investing in your continued education and advanced modalities and really adding more things into your toolbox. Like you have all these classes, you are licensed in things that maybe you're the only one in your area offering it. You're sitting almost like on a gold mine. But if you didn't maybe have your numbers in place or your pricing or understanding your branding, 'cause I know you did Business Building Academy with us, what would that have meant?
The biggest struggle for me, even though I might have all these modalities in my industry that are amazing and incredible, and it's something that's unique to me in my area, but the business part of it, even though I think I have a handle on the marketing, Instagram, which is something I enjoy very much, like I don't hire anybody to do that. But for me, it's like when I think of you and your coaching, there's a next level that I have no clue how to get to. I want to go there. And because of my age too, I have a shorter window than someone that's in their 30s or 20s of hands-on, and that's okay. But I think that there's other things out there that you and I have even discussed in the past that we see me doing. I can't get there without your skill set and knowledge.
It's, you know what? It's leverage. It's
Mm.
leverage because if you have the skill set and maybe you're not sure of how to monetize it, of how to maximize upon it, You're uncertain of how to leverage it
Mhm.
across multiple mediums. And I tell people, like, you can take business stuff all day, you can get coaching all day, but if you're not enhancing and growing yourself, like personal development and professional development, you're gonna flatline. And vice versa. There's some people that will invest all day long in training. They're taking one after the next. They're buying every shiny object. They're getting every device. And then they can't leverage those things
Right,
because they lack the business know-how, or in your sense where you're like, no, I'm great with marketing. I don't even want anyone to do my Instagram, which is great. But then what if our numbers aren't making sense? Like, you're making money, but if we're not managing the money, then we don't have anything that we can actually multiply. And
right.
as you said, hey, when you get to a certain point, you are certainly thinking about exit strategy. You are thinking about, when you're self-employed, how do we keep these income faucets going, right? Because we don't want to be trapped in our treatment room forever and a day. And if
Yeah,
you want to build a, what I call a profitable lifestyle business, again, it has to be in alignment. It has
right.
to be in alignment. One of the things that I want to ask you in closing, because I think people oftentimes are like, oh, we made the investment and it was scary to make the investment. But when you're on the other side of that investment, what would it have cost you had you not invested in coaching?
My business future, like, I hit a certain level financially, and it's great because you remind me to not say, "This is what I make and this is what I charge." So
Big
that's
difference.
the missing link is I hit these numbers that I was like, "Oh my word," and then it's important for me to think of, I can't manage that on my own. It's like a whole other level. Like, I just opened up my first retirement fund because of you. There's certain things that I love the homework aspect of it. That's how my brain works. When we discuss things and I have homework to do, things that I can do, it's like right out of the gate. I'm like, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait.
And
So
little bite-sized chunks.
yes, you know how I am, very
A
short
little
thinking. Which is
bite-sized.
great because there are people that can get massive amounts of things done quickly, but you know, it's not that you just know me, but I'm sure when you're with new clients as well, you get to know them so that you
Right.
know what their capabilities are as far as what you can get done in an amount of time, which
Yeah,
is
you
great.
to visualize it. Yeah, that's why it's high level one-on-one. Group coaching's fantastic, but as you said, you work your way
Yeah,
up and you hit a point where you're like, okay, I need to
yeah.
work with someone very closely and hyper focused on me, my style, my business, my individual needs.
And I think it's important too for new estheticians to really think about business coaching. I think early on, my situation was different, but to have that guidance to help guide you along those journeys because it is overwhelming. It's like, it's a huge deal that you've opened a business. Huge. Like that, most
Absolutely.
businesses fail in the first, what, 18 months, 2 years, something like
Correct.
that.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's a huge accomplishment to take that risk in yourself, leave your ego to the side because
Yes.
you are going to get your feelings hurt multiple times,
Yeah.
and to learn not to take it personal. And just my biggest advice, I think, would be to put your head down. Don't tell people what you're doing and
Just do it.
just do it.
Basically, don't you
Oh,
don't have to
yeah.
talk about it. You don't have
Yeah.
to announce it. You
No.
don't have to go and inquire about what other people feel about it. You need to look internally.
Yeah.
You need to self-reflect
Yeah.
and you need to just do it. You need to just leap
Yeah.
basically because I definitely feel that it's never really a failure. It's a lesson if you
Right.
have that perspective on it. Like, you
You
can wear
try
your
it.
failures like a burden on your shoulders, or they can be stepping stones, man.
Yeah. You
You know,
try,
like,
you tweak it, you try it,
right,
it's like a
right,
recipe. Sometimes you put
right,
too much in, you gotta take that out, put something else in.
right.
It's a
You
recipe.
can't be afraid of
No,
the what ifs. Again, it's perspective. It's, but man, what if I don't do this?
right,
What if I don't sign up for this? What
right.
if I don't get the coaching? What if I don't go and talk to this preferred partner because I'm
Yeah,
afraid of what they're going to say? What if I don't try to get this sponsor? What if I don't, like, it's all of these things.
yeah,
And it's, but are you asking yourself, What if the shit pops off, man? What do you learn on the other side
Yeah,
of it? Love when you said about like how COVID was the best thing that could have happened in your business. Like for me, the best thing that could have happened in my business, I talk about my journey, is it failed. Girl, I ain't make it to 2 years. It failed in year one. I had to shut her down. And that for me was like, I got it. I was like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a damn good esthetician, but nobody even knows I exist. No one
right.
knows I'm here.
Yeah,
And I became obsessed with learning the business of like, I just dived head in, man. And that was everything. It changed it something that wasn't at all on my mind, or as you said, it wasn't even a vision that I had, but it was like I was meant for something. I was meant to serve in another capacity.
yeah.
And
It's
it
great
took
'cause
that happening.
you get so focused on what you're doing with the client, it's like you're just looking down all the time. And then I felt like I looked up and it was like, oh my word, like my
Yeah.
business blew up. And then
Yeah.
the person that interviewed me said something that I cried because they said, "What's it feel like to be one of the most coveted estheticians on the East Coast?" And I lost it because I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah. I
But
mean,
it's
own it.
yeah, yeah, that's
Own
a
it.
hard thing
Yeah.
because you do wanna be proud of yourself, but then there's a part of
Yeah.
you that's like, "Ooh, that's weird," but it is
Girl,
what it
be
is.
that girl. Be that girl. Be that girl. Stand in it.
Because I
Stand
always say, "Look
power.
at
Take up space. Take
I
up
started at 50, like, I started at 50, 50, I went to school.
50 years young, honey.
So if I can do
You're
it,
jazzier than some of these
anybody
20
can
year
do it.
olds. You are, Lee. You have always been a little jazzy little thing, girl. I love you. I do.
I love you.
You have been around. I call you one of my OGs. You're one of my day ones. You've been with me since the beginning. I
Yeah,
am just honored to have been able to witness entrepreneur journey, be right there alongside you. It's been fantastic for me having you alongside mine.
I
I'm
love it,
starting on Instagram, just like,
right?
all right, I'm gonna talk to the people. We gonna do this.
$3.99.
It's free 99, honey. Come one, come all. Get served. Get your gym. Get your
Yep,
gym. And fast forward to today, to be able to work at a high level, work one on one with each other
mhm,
as you go into this next phase of your business. So,
I'm
in
excited.
wrapping it up, I want people to know your name, where you're at, how people can find you.
So I am Lee. I am Holistic Skin and Tonics. I have a solo business in Rollingsford, New Hampshire, and am so honored and thrilled to be able to do what I do every single day.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And where are you at on the gram? Because everybody wants to find folks on the gram.
So it's Holistic Skin and Tonics on Instagram.
Nice. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
very much for
We
just being.
finally got to do this.
I know. Thank you so much. It's 5 years in the making,
I
y'all.
know, I
Five.
know.
That's 5 years.
Yep,
And it's finally happened. And all things in time, I think I told you, like, when we came back together, it's just the stars aligned. It was
yep,
like it was just kismet. It was time for it to happen.
yep,
And for any of you watching this, no matter where you are along your entrepreneurial journey, if you're in school or at one point Lee was employed somewhere else, you can still start learning business while employed somewhere else, because I always say that's learn on somebody else's dime, earn
yep,
and learn at the same damn time. And the things that you're learning, you can apply and put in practice. Or whether, as in Lee's situation, she, listen here, I'm 56, but Lee is doing the damn thing. Okay. So no matter where you are, don't count yourself out. Step in your gift, your power, take up
yep,
space in the world. Own it. It's
yeah.
not sometimes we have this feeling of I don't want to be like too full of myself. Be full of yourself. Be
Fill that
full of
cup.
yourself.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
take up that damn space. All
Mhm.
right, Lee, thank you so much.